actual history of the planet and what the Bible teaches from the original Hebrew and from the original Greek versus how these words have been translated, then there is no contradiction between the Bible and natural history.
Okay, well, this is a good time to break, Eli. We're gonna break. Hans is gonna play some music, but when we get back, we're gonna ask this question here, and it ought to be a good one. Why was Adam put in the garden? What was his job? Why is he? You know the question we all have: who am I? Yeah. Why am I here? And so forth. And so we're going to have this music here. It's called "Out of the Silence," and we'll be right back, folks, with the Waterman Files after this break. This is John Waterman, Dr. John Waterman, and you're listening to ArgusoogRadio, and we're in the second hour now, and you're listening to the Waterman Files, and we're coming to you from deep inside the castle. And Eli James is our guest today, and he's going to be covering a bunch of questions that I'm going to have to remind him of because there were so many.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And he's going to finish talking about the question.
The papal bulls.
The papal bulls. as
right,
opposed to a cow?
Yeah, right. No, a bull is a notice, a published document, okay, published paper.
Like the encyclical.
Right,
like,
exactly.
Yeah.
And throughout history, I started out by saying that the first pope was really Innocent III in 607 A.D. There were no popes before then. What the situation was that the Christian world had independent bishoprics. Okay, they had bishops in such places as Alexandria, Rome, probably Corinth, and many cities throughout the eastern end of the Mediterranean, okay? These were independent Christian communities that had their own bishops. None of these bishops recognized the Bishop of Rome as being their head. Absolutely none of them, okay? So this, when Innocent III declared himself to be Pope, he did this in opposition to all of these other bishoprics, okay?
Oh,
so,
is that right?
That's right. That's right. And Paul did not establish the Catholic Church. He established these independent bishoprics. That's what he established. So the Catholic Church is a usurpation of authority that has no legitimacy whatsoever. Okay, and there's, I could talk for years on this subject of all the deceit that the Catholic Church is guilty of in pretending to be the Church of Jerusalem and being spread to Rome and blah blah blah. Okay, that's all lies. Didn't happen that way.
Would this be the same bunch of guys that were giving Jesus trouble that he said were actually
those were the Pharisees. Those were the original Jews. Okay, it was those scribes and Pharisees that had invented it, but they did the same thing. They just beat the Catholic Church to it. They pretended. The Jews have been pretending to teach the law of Moses for the last 2,000 years. But if you look at their actual beliefs and what their rabbis actually teach, it's not the law of Moses at all. It's the Talmud. The Talmud.
So
Yes?
could we say, I was just going to say then, you were talking about that, the Talmud, the Catholic. Do they have a common? Do they have a common source of the problem?
Basically, the Catholic Church copied what the rabbis did by inventing a new religion. Okay.
It almost sounds like it was the same, maybe.
No, it's not, because I'm getting to answer the question here. So what we had was we had the Judeo religion. Okay, which is not based on the law of Moses whatsoever. It's based on the oral tradition of the rabbis, which is a total violation of Deuteronomy 4:2, where Moses says, "You shall not add, you shall not subtract from the written law that I have given you." But all of Judaism is nothing but additions and subtractions. All of Judaism is a violation of Deuteronomy 4:2. The rabbis do not obey the law of Moses, period.
So where did they get the Talmud?
The Talmud, they just invented it. Okay? It's what the rabbis do. They invent doctrine. Okay, that's what they do in their yeshivas, okay? But they pretend to be derived from the law of Moses, and they pretend to be derived from the tribe of Judah, both of which are false statements, false claims. Okay?
And so they actually
they're actually not Israelites, and they're not Mosaic teachers. They're neither. They're imposters.
And so their genetics were not even from the planet.
Right. Because as we talked about earlier, remember the tribe of Gath and Goliath was one of the fallen angels, one of the Nephilim. Okay, those Canaanites, they were all derived from the Nephilim, all of them. And that's why
were they causing this trouble before Adam?
Yes, they were.
Okay.
Exactly.
So
that answered the question earlier of, why did Yahweh create Adam? But let me finish this question here first about the papal bulls, okay? So when the Catholic Church finally became a very great power in Europe and created the Dark Ages, okay? Because think about this.
It does make sense, doesn't it?
Before the Catholic Church dominated Europe, people could read and write.
Mm-hmm.